Welcome back to the OpenAI Associate Developer course. In this lesson, we'll explore the tool choice property of the chat completion API. Understanding this property will help you control how the AI decides to use tools in its responses. The tool choice property can be set to control whether the model calls a tool or generates a message. Remember, if the chat completion response calls any tool, there will not be any content in the message object. One point of clarity: though we refer to the tool choice, tool array, and often state calling a tool, the term tool really means function. However, as OpenAI expands, this will grow to more options in the future, but for now, we use the term tool to mean function. Okay, moving back to the tool choice property. This property has several setting options you can use to guide the AI's behavior. These configuration options are: 1. You can set it to none. When set to none, the model will not call any tool and will instead generate a message. This is the default setting when no tools are present. 2. The default is auto. When set to auto, the model can choose between generating a message or calling one or more tools. Again, this is the default setting if tools are present. 3. Set to required. When set to required, the model must call at least one tool in the tools array, but can call more. This is useful when you want to ensure that a tool is always used in the response. 4. Set the tool's choice property to a specific tool. You can specify a particular tool the model is required to use by providing an object with the tool's details. These details are in the form of a JSON object with the following properties. 1. Type. This currently can only be set to the string value of function. 2. The function object. This is the JSON object which contains the function's name. This will force the model to call only the specified function with the name specified in the function object. And since we're using TypeScript, we'll create a union variable for our tool choice property. This can have the string values of none, auto, required, or the chat completion named tool choice object. As this union is common in OpenAI's API, the OpenAI package already includes a type for this union named chat completion tool choice option, and this is the type we'll set our tool choice variables type to. Now we can set this variable to any of the 4 tool choice options we've discussed. Now that we know what we can set the tool choice variable to, here's why and when to use these options. Use none when you want the model to focus on generating textual responses without invoking any external tools. Use auto to give the model flexibility to decide the best course of action, which can be useful in dynamic scenarios where the need for tool usage isn't always predictable. Use required when you need to ensure that the model calls a function, such as when integrating with critical external systems or APIs that provide essential data. Specify a particular tool when you have a specific function that needs to be called for a particular user query, ensuring that the model uses that function to provide its response. Before we wrap up, let's take a look at our code to see how to set the tool choice property in your configuration object. Back in our code, you can see the typical chat completion OpenAI configurations object setup for a chat completion call. You'll notice that all the previous parameters aren't what we're focusing on here, and are therefore shrunk to be out of the way. Instead, what we'll focus on are the tools array and tool choice properties. We'll first focus on the 2 functions in the tools array. These 2 functions are getUserStatus and getROI for month. First, notice that getUserStatus takes a string parameter as either day, week, month, or year. This parameter name is timeframe and is a required parameter. Next, the getROI for month function, we see it takes a string parameter as the 3-letter abbreviation of the month name. This parameter name is month name and is also a required parameter. After these 2 functions are set up in our tools array, in the very last line of our code, you'll see the tool choice property set to our union variable named toolChoiceVar. Okay, now that we're familiar with the tool array, we'll move this code away and out of our focus and concentrate on the declaration specifics of our choice union variable. First, notice we need a new import from the OpenAI package. We'll import the chat completion tool choice option from OpenAI. This is the union variable we need, which is already declared in the OpenAI package and is the type we'll use for our tool choice variable. Once we have our variable declared, we can set it to any of the four options we've discussed. We can set it to any of the following strings: none, auto, or required. And now we'll see how we set our tool choice variable to a specific function call we want the AI to call. In our case, we'll set it to require the AI to call the getUserStatus function. And finally, in our OpenAI configurations object, we'll set the tool choice property to our tool choice variable. So now that we've set up all our tool variables to have the AI call our functions, be sure to look at this example source code from GitHub to notice the changes we made to the messages content in the user and system roles. Recall from earlier, in order for the AI to give you back correct parameters to your function, it needs clarity on the conversation's context. Once you have your messages set up, go ahead and compile and run your code to see the AI's function calling response for the getUserStatus function call. By mastering the tool choice property, you can better guide the AI's behavior, ensuring it responds appropriately based on the context and requirements of your application. This concludes our lesson on the tool's choice property in the OpenAI API. Stay tuned, and let's continue enhancing our AI-powered applications together.